In the busy city of Lagos, there lived a young girl named Ada. Ada was very beautiful, with big bright eyes and smooth, dark skin that shone in the sun. She was also very rich. Her father was one of the richest men in Nigeria, owning many big businesses. But even though Ada had everything, fancy clothes, a big house, and lots of toys, she was not happy. Why? Because everyone who wanted to be her friend only liked her because of her money or her looks. They didn't care about who she was inside. Ada wanted someone to like her for her heart, not her riches. One day, Ada had an idea. She decided to pretend to be a poor girl so she could find out who her real friends were. She told her father and mother about her plan, and although they were worried, they agreed to let her try. Ada cut her long, shiny hair and wore old, simple clothes. She even used makeup to make her face look less pretty, adding fake scars and spots. She looked in the mirror and smiled. No one would recognize her now. She left her big house and went to live in a small room in a busy neighborhood. To earn money, she started selling akara, bean cakes, by the roadside. It was hard work, but Ada didn't mind. She wanted to see what life was like for ordinary people. One day, while selling akara, a boy named Toby came to her stand. Toby was about her age, and he worked as a shoe shiner. He smiled at Ada and said, "Your akara smells really nice, can I buy one?" Ada smiled back. "Sure, it's 10 naira." Toby bought one, and after tasting it, he said, "This is the best akara I've ever had." Ada laughed, happy that someone liked her cooking. Every day, Toby came to buy akara from Ada. Soon, they became friends. Toby was kind and funny, and he always helped Ada when her firewood wouldn't light or when she needed change for her customers. But Toby didn't know Ada's secret. He didn't know that she was rich or that her real name wasn't just Ada. It was Adana, the daughter of the famous Chief Okafor. One afternoon, Toby told Ada, "You're different from most people I know. You're hardworking and kind. I don't have much, but I'll always be here to help you." Ada's heart felt warm. Toby liked her for who she was, not because of her looks or her money. But she also felt bad because she was lying to him. What would Toby think if he found out the truth? One day, while Ada was packing up her akara stand, a big black car drove up to her. It was her father's driver. He stepped out and said loudly, "Miss Adana, your father wants you to come home now." Toby, who was nearby, heard everything. His eyes grew wide with shock. "Adana, Miss Adana, what's going on?" Ada froze. She didn't know what to say. Toby looked hurt and confused. "You're not just a poor akara seller, are you?" he asked. Ada took a deep breath. She knew she couldn't hide the truth anymore. Ada looked down at her hands, ashamed. She couldn't bear to see the hurt in Toba's eyes. But she knew she had to tell him the truth. "I'm so sorry, Toby," she began. "My real name is Adana. I'm not poor, and I don't really sell akara for a living. I come from a very rich family. But I wanted to know if someone could like me for who I am, not for my money or how I look. That's why I pretended to be poor." Toba's face showed a mix of emotions, confusion, hurt, and disbelief. "So, all this time, you were lying to me?" he asked. Ada nodded, tears filling her eyes. "I didn't mean to hurt you. You're the kindest friend I've ever had, and I was scared that if I told you the truth, you wouldn't want to be my friend anymore." Toby sighed deeply and sat down on a nearby bench. He was quiet for a moment before he said, "I don't know how to feel, Ada. You lied to me, but I can see you're sorry. I need time to think." Ada nodded again. "I understand," she said softly, "but please know that everything I said and did was real. I truly care about our friendship." The driver, who had been standing nearby, cleared his throat. "Miss Adana, your father is waiting for you." Ada turned to Toby. "I have to go now, but I hope we can talk again soon." She climbed into the car, her heart heavy, and rode back to her big house. For the next few days, Ada couldn't stop thinking about Toby. She missed their laughs and talks, and she wished she had been honest from the start. Finally, she decided to do something to make things right. She went to Toba's workshop carrying a small bag. When she found him, he was polishing a pair of shoes, his face serious. "Toby," she said, standing in front of him, "I brought something for you." Toby looked up, surprised but still guarded. "What is it?" Ada opened the bag and pulled out a new set of shoe shining tools. "I noticed that some of your tools were old and broken, so I got you these. I hope you'll accept them as a way of saying sorry." Toby stared at the tools, then at Ada. Slowly, a small smile appeared on his face. "Thank you, Ada. That's very thoughtful of you." "Does this mean we can still be friends?" Ada asked hopefully. Toby thought for a moment, then nodded. "We can be friends, but no more lies." "Okay." Ada's face lit up. "No more lies. I promise." From that day on, Ada and Toba's friendship grew stronger. Ada still visited the neighborhood often, helping Toby at his workshop and learning more about his life. And while Toby was still adjusting to the fact that Ada came from a wealthy family, he appreciated her kindness and honesty. Ada learned an important lesson too. Being yourself is the best way to find true friends. And for Toby, he discovered that even people from different worlds could share something special. But their story wasn't over yet. One day, an exciting opportunity came knocking that would test their bond even more. A few weeks later, Toby received a letter from a prestigious shoe design academy in Abuja. One of his customers, impressed by his talent, had secretly recommended him for a scholarship. The letter stated that he had been selected to join their program and learn how to design shoes professionally. Toby was overjoyed but also nervous. Abuja was far away, and he didn't have the money to travel or stay there. When Ada heard about it, she was thrilled for him. "Toby, this is an amazing opportunity. You have to go." Toby frowned. "I want to, but I can't afford the expenses. I can't ask my family for help either. They're already struggling." Ada thought for a moment. She wanted to help, but she didn't want to make Toby feel uncomfortable. Finally, she had an idea. "Toby, remember how I said I wanted to make up for lying to you?" she asked. "Yes," Toby replied cautiously. "Let me help you with the travel and accommodation costs. You're my friend, and friends help each other. You can pay me back whenever you're able." At first, Toby hesitated. He didn't want to take money from Ada, even if she offered. But deep down, he knew this was a chance he couldn't let slip away. Finally, he agreed. "All right, Ada, but I'll pay you back, every single naira." Ada smiled. "I wouldn't expect anything less." With her help, Toby traveled to Abuja to begin his journey. Before he left, Ada gave him a small notebook. "Write your ideas and dreams in here," she said. "And don't forget to write to me too." Over the next year, Toby worked hard at the academy, learning everything about shoe design. He sent letters to Ada every month, telling her about his progress. Ada wrote back, sharing updates about her life and how proud she was of him. When Toby returned to Lagos, he brought with him a collection of beautifully designed shoes and a heart full of gratitude. He had grown into a confident young man, ready to start his own business. At his first showcase, Toby invited Ada to be his guest of honor. She arrived dressed in a simple but elegant outfit, looking every bit the Ada he had come to admire. As Toby presented his designs, he thanked Ada in front of everyone. "This wouldn't have been possible without my friend, Ada. She believed in me when no one else did, and I'll never forget that." The crowd clapped, and Ada's heart swelled with pride. From that day on, Toba's shoe business thrived, and Ada continued to support him as a friend. A few years passed, and Toba's shoe design business had become one of the most sought-after brands in Nigeria. His journey from a humble shoe shiner to a successful entrepreneur was nothing short of inspiring. Through it all, Ada remained by his side, cheering him on. But what neither of them realized was that their bond had grown into something deeper than friendship. One evening, after Toba's latest showcase, he invited Ada to dinner at a quiet, cozy restaurant overlooking the Lagos Lagoon. As they sat under the soft glow of lanterns, Toby took a deep breath and reached for her hand. "Ada," he began, his voice steady but full of emotion, "you've been my best friend, my biggest supporter, and my source of strength. I've thought about this for a long time, and I know in my heart that you're the one I want to spend the rest of my life with." Ada's eyes widened, her heart racing. "Toby," she whispered. He smiled, pulling out a small box from his pocket. Inside was a simple yet beautiful gold ring. "Ada, will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded. "Yes, Toby, yes." The restaurant erupted in cheers as Toby slipped the ring onto her finger. It was the happiest moment of their lives. Their wedding was a beautiful blend of their worlds. Ada's family provided the grandeur, while Toba's humble beginnings added warmth and authenticity to the celebration. The ceremony was held in a lush garden adorned with Nigerian traditional decorations. Ada wore a stunning ivory lace dress paired with a vibrant gel, while Toby looked dashing in his custom-made agbada. As they exchanged vows, they promised to always be honest and supportive of one another, just as they had been throughout their journey. Their marriage was built on love, trust, and friendship, the very things Ada had been searching for when she first decided to live as a poor girl. Years later, they opened a foundation together to support underprivileged children, combining their resources and passion to make a difference. Ada often said that pretending to be poor led her to the richest treasure of all, Toby. And Toby, who once believed that rich people couldn't be kind, smiled whenever he looked at Ada, knowing he had found the love of his life. The end.